jump into the episode, I want to let you know about my groundbreaking program, Breaking the Chains of Avoidance, a program designed just for avoidant men to help them from going from avoidance of relationships and love into deep connection and the abilities to create deep connection and lasting relationships. Right. So if you're interested in this, if avoidance is ruining your dating life and your relationships, just go down to the description below and you can put yourself onto the wait list so that you can get a huge discount off when I launch the program in a few weeks. The program will be starting on the 22nd of April, so don't delay. Welcome to my mini episodes, these little short podcast episodes that I do on the weekends to really get to the heart of something that's come up in my work, in my coaching with people. Something that I am seeing and hearing from a lot of men is they're coming to me and they're saying, women are saying to me, they don't feel me, or, you don't open up, right? Or the women are saying, I don't feel you, I don't open up, you're a closed book, something along those lines, right? And there's a really, this is the bedrock of connection and forming relationships, especially in dating and relationships, right? And friendships. So if you're a man and you hear this, the chances are you probably, you might not have that many friendships as well. Friendships light. You don't talk to that many people. Dating can sometimes be a struggle. Like you're hearing this same thing, right? You form connections and maybe they fall away, or women say, oh, look, I didn't feel the connection. That's a really important one as well. Right? I didn't feel the connection. So what's going on, right? What she's saying to you is she's really longing for this like connection and attunement and intimacy, emotional intimacy, right? She's not necessarily asking you to like divulge your whole life story, and write out a whole novel of your life and who you are and how you think. But what she's looking for and what she's really craving and yearning for is emotional availability, which is basically the availability of your emotions, to know that they are actually there, right? That you are having them, that you have an emotional experience of life, and more so an emotional experience of the relationship. And a little news flash for you, right? Relationships are emotional entities. They are emotional vehicles, right? They're vehicles for our emotional growth and expansion. So if you're with somebody and you can't feel them, you can't feel their emotions, it leaves you feeling neglected. The woman you're with, she's feeling neglected. She's feeling like the relationship doesn't matter to you, right? Because if you are not having feelings about the emotion, then why are you in the emotion? Sorry, if you're not having emotions about the relationship, why are you in the relationship, right? And this is a really important aspect, right? Because what she's really doing is she's seeking to understand you, and she's seeking to understand much of your inner world. And this is the thing, right? When our inner worlds collide and get closer together and we can open up and share those inner worlds with each other, right? A relationship deepens and becomes more interesting and becomes more deep, becomes more fulfilling. It touches a deeper need for us to feel deep connection and belonging and meaning. When there's a lack of emotional availability, that belonging and feeling is lacking. So someone can feel very alone, right? You might have even had this from your partner or past partners, but they said to you, I feel alone in this relationship. Right? I feel insecure, and those insecure actions are like questioning if you care, asking if you love them, asking if you've been thinking about them, do you miss me? All those questions that for many years annoyed the hell out of me, right? If I'm really honest, right? But she'll be feeling disconnected, a general sense of disconnection. And this might lead to arguments, her frustration, her demanding more emotion from you, demanding more time from you, demanding more conversation from you, like demanding more depth and connection, right? And it can feel like quite a weight, right, for you. And one of the reasons you're not kind of sharing how you feel is because you're not practiced in it, right? There might be some fear as well about sharing your emotions and being rejected. That's something deep down we often experience as men, is at some point in our life, we have been rejected, we have been ridiculed, we have been bullied for showing emotion, showing feeling like sadness, happiness, joy, you name it. There's a whole wheel of emotions, right? So we don't show them, right? We don't show them because we're scared. It might not occur like that. It might just occur to us on the top level that it's just like, I don't really feel very much. I don't have much going on. But the truth isn't actually the truth. There's a lot more going on inside your mind and your feeling than you really give credit for, right? If you were to narrate your day about what you're thinking and so forth, there'd be a lot going on. And if you're having thoughts, you're having feelings, you just might not be aware of them, right? So this is a really common problem for all men, but in particular, I see this for avoidant men, the men that I commonly work with, and the men that I have a program actually coming up, my Breaking the Chains of Avoidance. I'll drop it in now. Breaking the Chains of Avoidance, which is really about helping men get out of their avoidant tendencies, learn how to feel, learn how to express, learn how to build emotional connection, as well as overcome the ways in which we break connection and hurt things, that fear of intimacy, the fear of closeness, the fear of commitment. These are all ways that we break relationships, right? So that program's starting on the 22nd of April. There's a waitlist below. And I urge you to get on the waitlist quickly, because when the waitlist closes, you're going to lose out on like a 15% discount to the program, right? So I'm going to urge you into that into that straight away. But so from the point of view of an avoidant man, right, when he hears his partner go, I don't feel you, I don't understand you, you don't open up, you're thinking, but I'm here, I care, I show that I care, I do things that I care, isn't that enough, right? Or you're thinking like, why do you need to talk about my feelings all the time? Why is that important, right? Or maybe there's that feeling, as I said before, if I open up, you're going to feel judged, trapped, overwhelmed by their reactions and so forth, right? And this is a lot to do with how we're wired around emotion and feeling and childhood experiences. You can find a lot more details about that stuff in the podcast I did before this about the 3 steps to kind of healing avoidance. So what can you do to change it? Because if you listen to this, you want to change it, right? One of the things you have to learn to do is feel your body. Yeah, that's maybe a surprising one for you, right? But our emotions occur in our body. So often what we do is we are just in our heads. We just thinking, right? And we don't necessarily put much attention to, does my chest feel tight? Oh, actually, my chest feels tight. Oh, I'm feeling like some tension in my chest. My heart's beating quite quickly. Oh, I've got a knot in my stomach. My stomach feels really tense, or my shoulders feel really tight, right? And then you can start to ask yourself, why am I feeling that? Oh, actually, I'm feeling that because I'm feeling nervous actually at this moment, or I'm feeling like I'm stressed, or I'm feeling worried, or whatever. And this is where our emotions live, in our bodies, right? From a nervous system point of view, our emotions live in our body. When we start to tune our body, we start to get a lot more understanding of what we're feeling. And then that enables us to communicate it. And you might have this fear and worry that, if I start doing this all the time, I'm not going to get anything done. Again, you're being binary. There's no way me saying that you should do this all of the time. You spend all your time just feeling your emotions, but you should be checking in numerous times a day, right? You have time to check in for 30 seconds when you wake up, before you go to bed, before you sit and watch TV, when you're sitting on the train or tube, or even in the car, you can do it, right? It's just these little check-ins to how I'm feeling. Or when you meet someone and you're talking to them and they ask you how you're doing, you say how you're feeling. You can stop, check in, and say how you're feeling. Another way we can start to feel more is we have to have the words for it. Really commonly when I coach people, one of the things I start with is my feelings and emotions wheel. If you're interested in that, just drop me an email and I'll send it over to you. It's really important, because if we don't have the words to describe how we're feeling, then we won't describe how we're feeling. And, the wheel I use has literally got hundreds of words on it. And I've been in sessions with men and said, how are you feeling right now? And they'll say to me, yeah, I'm okay, I'm good. And, the good isn't a feeling, that's a state. And then we'll dive a bit deeper and I'll be like, okay, here's this feelings and emotions. Well, how are you feeling? And then they start getting into that. Actually, I'm feeling really content. I'm feeling happy, but actually I'm feeling a little bit nervous and I feel a little bit disappointed and blah, blah, blah. And then we dive into that and then we got a deeper experience of who they are. This is the depth that she's calling for, right? Is this deeper experience of you having a deeper experience of the moment and of your own life. And she's interested in being in that. Really, that's what a lot of women want. They want to feel that you have depth and emotional experience, right? And so forth. So it's really important that you start to have the words, feel the body and notice, right? And then when you have that, you can start to, just practice naming. Maybe you're talking to your partner and she says, how was your day? You can stop, you can go, okay, how am I feeling? Actually, I'm feeling a bit stressed today. I'm feeling stressed because... right? And now you got to look out for this little message that we tell ourselves often as men, often as avoidant men especially, is that no one cares about my feelings. There's something we often tell ourselves, no one cares about my feelings and no one wants to know, right? Because that's simply not true, right? And really, you're doing this work not for them. You're doing it for you, because you have a deeper experience of life, right? You create deeper connections with people, friends, family, and so forth. So practicing naming, saying what's going on for you, how you're feeling, even what you're thinking, right, is useful in deepening your partner, a woman's understanding of your inner world, right? It's just naming it, just speaking out loud, right? And it's a practice. It's not something you master overnight. It's something that takes you years or a lifetime to really become masterful at for some of us. Another piece I think is really important is often we only want to share how we're feeling when we're 100% certain about that, or 100% worked out in our heads, right? So anything that's like work in progress, we don't want to we want to avoid sharing anything that's kind of half baked or not completely worked out. And that's something we need to start working on, you know? It might just simply be like, I was thinking about da 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 da. I was thinking about we could do da 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 da. Or I was thinking that, I've been feeling this way about work lately, or, whatever it is. You don't have to have the answer. No one's going to hold you. No one's going to put a gun to your head that you do that thing or you follow through. We have a lot of ideas, right? And it's okay to have ideas you do nothing with. I have a lot of ideas I do nothing with, right? And it's okay just to speak them out loud. So for years, they used to hold me back, be like, oh, I can't say anything unless I'm going to 100% follow through and do it, right? So start to do that. Another way we can be more and be felt more deeply is when we let our partners comfort us in moments when we are having difficulty. Yeah, this can feel really vulnerable to just share like, oh, actually, I'm really struggling with this thing, or I'm feeling a little bit off today, or I'm feeling a bit stressed today, or, I'd love you to listen to me. It's letting people comfort us allows them into our inner world to support us. And you might be hearing this and going, oh, but, that's going to be used against me at a later date and blah, 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 blah. And, the truth is in the clients I work with, that actually happens really rarely, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but are you going to try and build a relationship with someone where you don't trust them to support you? And if you're in a relationship with someone and you don't trust them to support you and comfort you, then you're probably in the wrong relationship. And if that's your belief about all relationships, then there's some really deeper work that you need to do, right? Because that's not how all women are, That might be the ones that you've been attracted to and you've been meeting and you've been attracted to and have been attracted to you. And there's some deeper work there. Like if you keep attracting women who don't respect your feelings and who don't comfort you, then you're attracted to women who are somewhat destructive. And that's on you to do something about. It doesn't mean all women are like that, because I've met hundreds of women who are very different to that, right? And my clients meet very different women to that as well. And the last one I'm going to mention here is, don't wait for the perfect moment to open up. So often as men, we're waiting for the perfect moment. Like, the sun needs to be shining and I need to feel relaxed and she needs to feel relaxed. And then I can say how I'm feeling. Like, that shit don't work. That's not how the world is, right? Just take the moment wherever you are. This is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on for me. Yeah? Because if you keep waiting for things to be perfect, life is never perfect. The waiting just continues. The waiting is a form of avoidance. The waiting is a form of resistance, right? Like waiting, because it never comes, right? Really important. And then the last thing, actually, another one I've just added in. You need to start having friendships where you can practice opening up. Yeah, friendships where people will listen to you and open up with you and be curious about you as well. It's a really important thing. So you can practice when you're not in a relationship, you're not with a woman, that you have people in your life you can practice with, right? Be that friends or men's groups or men's programs like I'm running, the Breaking the Chains of Avoidance, where you can practice expressing, so that when it comes to when you're in a relationship, it's far more effortless because you're in the practice. Maybe some of you have played football. The more you practice, you get, the better you get. The more you practice the drills, the more you practice shooting, or maybe you're a developer, a coder, and you listen to this, the more you practice writing code, the better you get at it, right? You can't just wait for the moment you need to write code to do so, right? I'm really out of practice of writing code. I was a software tester for 16 years. So when I have to write some code, it's like really clunky and difficult for a while. But when I do it day in, day out, which hasn't happened for a long time, it's more effortless because the mind's able to use that muscle, like gym, you're building that muscle. So look at expression and emotions and so forth in that same way. And you have to practice, right? To get better and better at it. So practicing with people who are, I think practicing with friends is perfect, right? And not just waiting for partners, because it puts a lot of emotional burden on them. So that's this episode. Yeah. If this is a topic that resonates, you listen to on YouTube, just like it. Just me a little like down below. It really helps me like expand this. I'm really going my way I wanted to like do more videos and so forth. And also put a comment down below if you are on Spotify or you're on YouTube about what you'd like me to talk about next. Yeah, or how useful this was to you as a topic. Like, what did you take away from it? So I'm always interested. I read all the comments that come up. So I'm really, really interested. Last thing, Break the Chains of Avoidance. Incredible program. Like, if you click on the link to the waitlist, you're going to see all some of the testimonials from men and how it shaped their lives and transformed their lives. Click down there and find out more. Just put your name in. There's no commitment at all. And we just get some more details about the program before it starts and get a wonderful discount as well. Who doesn't want a discount? All right. Ciao, ciao.